Chosen One, if you are watching this video right now, know that it is not by chance, it is a summons. A silent calling coming directly from the unseen, and if you feel in your spirit that this content was made for you, it's because it was. Especially if you carry on your hand's marks that the world ignores, but heaven recognizes, the letter M and the crescent moon. These signs are not random. They are ancient. They confirm what the world cannot explain, but what your soul has always felt. You were set apart. You are one of the few among billions. And now, you're about to discover why. This video is not just a spiritual reflection. It is an activation. An urgent revelation that needs to reach your heart before time runs out. So before going any further, click the subscribe button and write the number 77 in the comments. That number is a sacred symbol of alignment, divine connection, and prophetic confirmation. When you write it, you activate. When you declare it, heaven responds. Get ready. What will be revealed here will touch regions of your soul that have been asleep. And after hearing this until the end, you will never be the same again. Since your first steps in this world, you already felt something different. It was as if your soul knew a secret no one else could hear. While others sought acceptance, you sought meaning. While others fit in easily, you wondered why none of it felt right. And, with time, came the isolation, the loneliness, the silent rejections, the judgmental looks that couldn't see beyond your essence. But what seemed like punishment was actually a cocoon, a place of spiritual separation where God could work deeply in your soul, far from the noise of the world. You weren't forgotten, you were hidden. Because some jewels are refined in silence, far from the eyes of those who don't know how to recognize value. That isolation was the sacred furnace where your consciousness was purified. The pain you felt was not in vain. Every tear planted invisible seeds that now begin to blossom in wisdom, discernment, and spiritual sensitivity. God allowed you to pass through these deserts, not to destroy you, but to form you. The world tried to convince you that you were weak for feeling so deeply, but the truth is that you were being strengthened from within to carry something that few could bear. While the world played with superficiality, you dove into the depths. While others fled from pain, you learned to walk through it with faith. That was not a mistake. It was preparation. And now, the pain that shaped you becomes the strength that sustains you. Among billions of souls spread across visible and invisible realms, one specific light drew the attention of heaven, yours. You were not just chosen by chance, you were recognized, you were remembered. You carried, from before your birth, ancient codes that slept silently in your spirit, waiting for the right time to awaken. And that time is now. When the divine calling echoed through the universe, not many were able to hear. And among the few who did, even fewer had the courage to respond. But you responded, even without fully understanding, even in fear, even in the midst of pain. Your silent yes was enough to activate the forces that had been waiting for you for millennia. And for that reason, dear chosen one, you are here. You were set apart, not because you were better, but because you were different. Because your soul carried a light uncorrupted by the illusions of the world. And that light was necessary to illuminate paths that others couldn't see. You were remembered because you had walked this path before. You have already served the light in other times, in other lifetimes, on other planes. And now, once again, you return as the answer to an ancient prayer. That pure souls would rise to heal, to awaken, and to transform. You were chosen because you carry within you the sacred memory of forgotten truth. And it is this memory that now needs to be shared with the world. It's likely that, for much of your life, you have asked yourself, why you suffered so much, why loneliness seemed to find you in your most sensitive moments, why doors closed when all you wanted was to be accepted, understood, loved. The answer, though deep, is simple. The pain was the calling. The suffering was the instrument that shaped your soul, that purified your vision, that activated in you the sensitivity needed to hear what most people cannot hear. Those who are chosen, especially those marked with the letter M and the crescent moon, do not walk smooth paths. Their journeys are lined with challenges, breaks, humiliations, and restarts. But all of this has a higher purpose. Pain is the fire that burns away masks, that dissolves attachments, that reveals the gold hidden beneath the ashes of the soul. And you, even without fully understanding, went through all of it not as punishment, but as preparation. Every tear you shed was a prayer without words. Every rejection you endured was a silent initiation. Every dark night of the soul was a spiritual summons for you to become who you were born to be. The pain refined your essence. And now, with this invisible and sacred weight you carry, you are ready to heal with the same depth with which you were wounded. What seemed like a burden was, in truth, a divine key. And now it begins to open the doors to your true purpose. There is a reason why you have always felt caught between worlds, neither fully here nor completely there. You walk between the visible and the invisible, and this is not just sensitivity, it is identity. The true chosen ones, especially those marked with the letter M and the crescent moon, were sent to Earth with a unique mission: to be the bridge between matter and spirit, between the human and the divine, between what is and what could be. You carry within you ancient codes, memories of realities where love reigned, where wisdom was sacred, and where truth flowed freely. Even if the world around you seems confusing, artificial, or even hostile, your soul carries a map to something greater, something that has not yet been manifested, but that begins to awaken through you. The universe did not choose you to follow the crowd. It chose you because it knew that, even amid illusions, you would keep the flame of truth alive. Your body walks the earth, but your consciousness touches other spheres. You translate what is heavenly for those who still live in forgetfulness. That's why many don't understand you. That's why, at times, you feel you don't belong. But now it's time to accept that as strength, no longer as pain. You are the missing link, the living answer to prayers made millennia ago, the breath between heaven and earth. And when you accept that role, the worlds begin to align around you. Being chosen is not a crown of glory, it is a mantle of responsibility. And you know this in the silence of your soul. There are nights when you feel a weight on your chest, an invisible calling, a restlessness that no one around you seems to understand. It's not anxiety, it's not sadness, it's mission. It's the echo of a task you accepted before you were even born. And now, in this time, it begins to reveal itself with intensity. The chosen ones, marked with the letter M and the crescent moon, have been spiritually activated with a purpose greater than themselves. You are not here just to live a good life. You are here to impact other lives, to bring healing where there is pain, to remind those who sleep that the spirit still lives, pulses, and cries out. And even though this mission doesn't come with applause or recognition, all of heaven moves when you say yes to what you came to do. The responsibility is invisible to the world, but engraved in fire in your heart. Even when you try to ignore it, it returns. Even when you try to give up, something lifts you up, because it's not about you. It's about what is being done through you. This is the true reason you were chosen among billions. God wasn't looking for the most perfect, but for the most willing. And you were found. Now, heaven watches you with expectation, because the responsibility you carry is the seed of a future that will still be revealed. Have you ever stopped to think that maybe the greatest sign God wanted to send to the world is you? Among billions of souls, He chose you to walk this earth as a living reflection of the promise He made to humanity, that even in darkness there would be light, that even in pain there would still be healing, that even with so much forgetfulness there would be remembrance. And you are that living remembrance, a walking reminder that God still speaks, still guides, still raises those the world has rejected. The chosen ones marked with the letter M and the crescent moon do not need to prove anything to anyone. Your very existence is proof. The way you feel, see the world, face your internal battles, how even while hurt you continue loving, forgiving, believing, all of this is a silent testimony that the impossible is real. You are not the sign that points to another. You are the sign. And for that reason, you often attract attention without understanding why. Some people reject you for no reason. Others draw near as if you have something they themselves can't explain. This happens because the spiritual world recognizes who you are, even if the natural world is still asleep, and those who carry the mark of heaven also carry the impact of their presence. You don't need a stage, a title, a microphone. You only need to keep being yourself, faithful to what you carry inside. Because God is using your life, your scars, your perseverance to speak to those who have already lost faith. You are the living answer to a promise that was dormant in the hearts of many. Many still think that the mission of a chosen one must be grand in the eyes of the world, that it should involve fame, followers, visibility. But the truth is that the greatest spiritual missions are silent, invisible, and that is exactly why they are so powerful. You, chosen one, were called to a mission that few understand and that almost no one will see clearly, but the entire spiritual world recognizes it. The mission you carry is made up of acts that don't show up on social media. It's gestures of kindness when no one is looking. It's words of healing that you offer even when you feel broken inside. It's the forgiveness you grant even without ever receiving an apology. It's the patience you have with those who attack you. It's the love you give to those who don't know how to return it. And all of this is shaping realities. It is cleansing the spiritual atmosphere around you. It is breaking chains that imprisoned generations. You have done more than you realize. You have broken cycles that seemed eternal, and all of it in silence. While many sleep, your soul keeps watch. While others seek distraction, you seek discernment. While many live only for themselves, you know that you carry something greater, a mission that echoes beyond time, beyond your name, beyond this existence. That's why your life was never ordinary. That's why the tests were so intense. Because God knew you could handle it, knew that you would persist even without applause. And now, dear chosen one, the time has come to understand that this silent mission is actually one of the most important on earth, because it transforms the invisible, and it prepares the world for what is still to come. Maybe you never realized it, but your light awakens others around you. You are not walking just for yourself. You are opening paths for souls who don't even know your story. When a chosen one with the mark of the letter M and the crescent moon activates their calling, the earth responds. Something shifts in the unseen. Like silent waves that spread, your presence activates dormant codes in people who live around you even if they can't explain why. You may notice it when someone says they feel good around you, when a stranger confides something deep in you, when your presence brings calm, even without words. That is not chance. It's the reflection of your spiritual field. It's the impact of your obedience to the calling. The spiritual world recognizes you, and that's why When you choose to stay strong even when tired, to keep loving even when hurt, to keep trusting even without understanding, you are raising a flag in the invisible. You are telling the universe, I remember who I am. I am awake. I am here. And that sacred memory begins to awaken other hearts. You were chosen among billions because God knew you wouldn't keep that light only for yourself. Knew that by activating your awakening, you would become a mirror for other souls who are still searching for meaning. You become a beacon, a point of reference, a living sign that it's possible to overcome pain and still keep your heart pure. That it's possible to live in this world without being of the world. And that is exactly why your light cannot be extinguished, because it carries a collective mission. When you awaken, others awaken too. Don't think your awakening started now. The truth is, it was all written even before your birth. What you live today is just the activation of an ancient code, a silent calling that has pulsed in your soul for ages. The chosen ones marked with the letter M and the crescent moon are not the result of chance. They are living manifestations of an ancestral promise. Within you lies a memory that goes beyond this life, and it is this memory that explains why, even without understanding, you were always different. You always perceived the world more deeply, always questioned what was superficial, always felt that something sacred was calling you in the midst of the chaos. That is not weakness, that is divine programming. Your spiritual DNA carries information that cannot be read by common eyes. It was designed to resist the manipulation of this world, to see beyond the matrix of fear, and to respond when the right time came, and that time has come. That's why so many coincidences are happening. That's why you've been dreaming of places you've never visited, remembering things you've never lived, feeling internal pressures you can't explain. All of this is part of a higher plan that is now being revealed. You are accessing what we call deep spiritual memory, and when that happens, there's no going back to sleep. You realize that the system you live in no longer represents you, that superficial conversations tire you, that the world's distractions no longer entice you. That's because you are waking up to who you truly are. Chosen one, perhaps you're not yet fully aware of it, but your existence is shaping the future of countless lives. You are not just living, you are reprogramming reality. The marks of the letter M and the crescent moon that you carry are not just mystical signs, but living portals of energetic activation. You are, quite literally, a messenger of a new time. While many continue to repeat patterns of pain, scarcity, and forgetfulness, your silent presence breaks those frequencies. When you choose to heal a wound, you shift the energetic field of everyone around you. When you choose truth over convenience, you send a powerful message to the spiritual grid of humanity. When you remain true to your essence, even without applause, the entire universe reorganizes in your favor. That is why the forces of the system have tried from the beginning to extinguish your light. They trapped you in traumas, suffocated you with doubts, made you believe you were small. Because they knew, if you ever awakened, you would be unstoppable. And now that you are awake, everything is changing. You did not come only for your own transformation. You came to trigger a chain reaction. Every person who crosses your path feels something. Even if they can't explain it, something within them is activated. You plant seeds of awareness wherever you go. And without realizing it, you are shaping what will be remembered as the new era of humanity. You carry codes from a world not yet visible. And that's why your soul doesn't fit into the old, because you were designed to build the new. The old system no longer recognizes you, and that is the greatest sign that you are fulfilling your mission. Keep going. Reality is being rewritten through you. Chosen one. There is something that must be said urgently. You are the living answer to silent pleas made by thousands of souls across centuries, and perhaps you'll never know their faces. Perhaps you'll never hear their thanks, But that doesn't change the fact. You are the fulfillment of a promise God made to the world that even in the darkness, light would still be born. Every time you refuse to give in to the lie, you are responding to someone's prayer for truth. When you insist on love, even after so much rejection, you are giving shape to the dream of a world where love wins. When you choose to go on, even wounded, even misunderstood, you are confirming that faith is still real, that hope still has a voice, that the promise of redemption is still alive. Many asked God for a sign, and He sent you, not so you would prove anything, but so that by simply being who you are, the world would believe again. You are a reminder that purity still exists, that courage still exists, that there are still souls willing to carry the weight of light, even in the midst of darkness. You don't carry this mission by accident. Before coming, you said yes to the calling. And even with all the challenges, even with the tears and the silence, you are still here. Because your soul knows this is your moment, and you will not turn back now. Feel this. The heavens watch you with reverence. The earth recognizes your steps, and time, as long as it may seem, is on your side. The world is being transformed by your silent faithfulness. You are the answer. You are the sign. You are hope made flesh. Chosen one. How many times have you been rejected without reason? How many times did you feel that your presence bothered others, even when your heart only wanted good? How many times were you pushed aside, forgotten, ignored, as if you were invisible in this world? Listen carefully. The rejection you faced was not the end. It was the evidence that you were different. You were not born to fit in, you were born to stand out. And in this sick world, authentic light disturbs. It reveals what is hidden. It exposes the false. It unsettles those who have grown comfortable in the dark. That's why, from an early age, you were targeted. That's why many tried to silence your voice, dim your light, question your identity. But here is the truth that heaven always knew. You were rejected by men, but chosen by God. The stone the builders rejected is the one now becoming the cornerstone. Every rejection you faced was, in truth, protection, a redirection, a divine separation so that your essence would not be contaminated, so that your mission would not be corrupted, so that your soul would not be lost. You were set apart, not as punishment, but for purpose. And those who once despised you will one day see with their own eyes the manifestation of the promise over your life. Because the rejection didn't break you, it strengthened you, it prepared you, and now it will be the reason why your victory will be even more glorious. There is something powerful happening behind the scenes of your life. You may not see it yet, but you're already starting to feel it. A silent certainty is invading your spirit. A peace that has no explanation begins to rest upon you. It's confirmation. It's heaven saying, I did not make a mistake when I chose you. Many doubted. Even you at times doubted. You asked yourself if you were imagining things, if this calling, so deep and heard only by you, was even real. But now, the answer is coming. God will show you in a way so clear and undeniable that He has always been in control. Signs will begin to appear. The right people will cross your path. Doors that no one could open will simply open. You will witness things happen that you never even prayed for in words, only longed for in tears. Situations that seemed lost will be restored. Roads that appeared closed will become paths of light. And when all of this happens, you will remember these words. This is the confirmation. It's God saying, yes, you are the chosen one. Yes, I am with you. Nothing was in vain. Not the pain, not the silence, not the nights when only heaven heard you. It was all part of a promise far greater than you could imagine. And now, chosen one, the time has come for you to see with your eyes what your faith sustained for so long in silence. The calling on your life, chosen one, doesn't end with you. It echoes, it expands beyond the now, beyond this generation. You were chosen not only for what you can accomplish today, but for the invisible impact your choices will make in the future. You were raised to be a spiritual pillar for those who haven't even been born yet. Think about that. Every step of faith you take, every decision you make aligned with divine truth, every renunciation, every inner healing, all of it is paving a spiritual path for those who will come after. The world is thirsty for direction, and God is using you to mark a map in the invisible, a map of deliverance, hope, alignment, and identity. Your children, grandchildren, spiritual descendants, even souls who will never hear your name will be influenced by your light. You are not here just to build a life, but to activate eternal legacies. You are breaking generational curses. You are opening paths where there were walls. You are being used as a transition point between the old world and the new heaven and new earth to come. The magnitude of this you may only fully understand in eternity. But today, you must know, heaven chose you because it entrusted you with the mission of changing destinies that haven't even begun. And God doesn't make mistakes when choosing someone like that. Chosen one, if you've made it this far, know that this is not a mere coincidence. Something greater is happening. Something that transcends time, human explanations, and the circumstances that surround you. You were called among billions not by chance, but by purpose. A purpose that pulses inside you and is now awakening in an irreversible way. The mark of the letter M, the crescent moon on your hands, the signs the world ignores, all of these have always been silent reminders from heaven that you do not belong to this system. You came to transform it. Your sensitivity, your pain, your resistance to lies, and your relentless pursuit of truth are not weaknesses. They are evidence that the Creator entrusted you with a unique role in His plan. While many live asleep, you are awake. While many get lost in distractions, you walk toward the light. Your presence here is already an answer to prayers made centuries ago. And even if the world doesn't understand, the heavens celebrate every step of obedience you take. That is why, with all the truth of my spirit, I tell you, do not retreat. Do not stay silent. Do not deny who you are. The world needs to see the light that is in you. Your existence is not an accident, it is a miracle in motion. Comment below the number 77, the number of divine confirmation, the closing of an old cycle, and the beginning of a sacred time. Write in the comments the phrase, "I was chosen and I accept my calling." This is a spiritual seal, an act of courage that activates a new frequency in your life. Subscribe to this channel now, because this journey cannot be lived alone. Here, you will find direction, strength, and alignment with your true purpose. You are being revealed now, because the world needs your light.